Ordering games are one of the easier types of LSAT logic games on average. And one of the things that typically indicates an ordering game is that you have a sequence of variables that are being ranked or are occurring over a period of time. Oftentimes, none of them are occurring simultaneously, and that is your indication that they must be ordered because nothing is happening at the same time. They'll often involve placing variables in specific slots and telling you that they cannot be in other slots. They often involve variables occurring consecutively or being adjacent to each other, or not being consecutive and not being adjacent to each other. They'll often involve placing spaces between variables and telling you that certain variables must come before or after other variables. So keywords are before, after, sequences in order, chronologies involving time or numbers, rankings, days of the week. Those are all typically associated with ordering games. In harder games, they might involve some elements of this, but also involved other things as well. But on average, if you see these keywords, you see these concepts, you're often going to be dealing with an ordering game. Here are some examples of typical ordering game rules, variables being before or after each other versus being immediately before or immediately after each other. Again, that idea of being adjacent or being consecutive. You'll often have variables being related to the first or last space as well. There's two types of ordering games. You have relative ordering games, which involve just loosely relating variables to each other. This is often known as relative ordering or relative sequencing or pure sequencing, lots of different names, all the same thing. Here's an example of what a diagram for relative ordering might look like. I have an example of a logic game that I've created that is of this type linked below this video if you'd like to check that out and see more about relative ordering. On the other hand, you have strict ordering games, which involve placing variables in relation to specific slots on a diagram. And here's an example of what that might look like. So you see here we have 7 slots and we're inserting variables onto specific slots. Again, I have an example of a game like this one linked below this video if you'd like to check that out and see what that looks like in practice.